Are we waving?
Yeah, you're waving at the camera.
Any camera at it?
You guys can go now. Okay, I'm Marina, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to make a fruit tart. Do you ever walk by a bakery and look longingly at those tantalizing tarts beckoning from the window? Have you ever wondered if you too could make this in your own kitchen? Well, the good news is you can. I will demonstrate the secret to making mouth-watering, always in style, hit-of-the-party fruit tart. Today I will demonstrate how to make a fruit tart by first making the crust, then the filling, and lastly, my favorite, decorating. So let's begin. The first thing we'll do is make the crust. This can be done in either Cuisinart or beat by hand. So you'll first need 5 ingredients, which are flour, salt, sugar, butter, and iced water, or chilled water. And so what you do first is, I'm not actually going to mix it because I don't have a mixer thing, but you do 1 cup of flour, and you pour it in. So you take your flour, pour it in, and then you do a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which I don't have, pour it in there, 2 tablespoons of sugar, so take your sugar, 2 tablespoons, just like that, 6 tablespoons of butter, so you cut it up and you put it in, and then you blend it up a little bit, and then you start adding the chilled water to it until it forms into a ball. And when you're done, your dough should look kind of like cookie dough. It should look like that. And then what you do once your dough is done is you preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and you can either take a tart pan or a pie pan, and you take your dough and you press it down so that it's like a thin layer on the pan. And once that's done, then you put it in the oven and you cook it for 10 minutes. Once 10 minutes is up, you take a fork and you poke down some holes so you poke down the bubbles, and you bake it for another 10 minutes. Once that's done, you take it out and you should have a crust, just like that. And then the next part is the custard part. So for this, you need a double boiler, which is a pot and a pan. And what you do to make the crust is you need heavy whipping cream, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 2 egg yolks, so you have to separate the eggs from the egg whites, and a teaspoon of vanilla and a tablespoon of cornstarch. So first what you do is you take your double boiler and you fill it up with water, just enough so that it hits the bottom of the pan, and you put it on top of the stove, and then you pour in 1 cup of cream into the thing, and you let it warm up a little bit. While that's going on, you take your 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1, 2, 3, you take your 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, you take your vanilla and your eggs, and what you do with the eggs, I can't demonstrate either, is, actually I can. You're going to crack it, and then you flip it back and forth a little bit until you get just the yolk, and that's what goes in the pan. And so then what happens is, then you stir until it gets thick, and your custard, by the time you're done, you have to take it off right before it turns into like a pudding. It should be a pudding consistency, and it'll look like that. And so once that's done, you take your custard, you take your pie, and you take custard and you get a thing that allows you to take it out, and you pour it on your tart, and you smooth it out with a spatula or with a tablespoon. That's all you have. And then once that's done, once everything has been spread out, you take, the next part is decorating, and you'll need 1 cup of strawberries, 1 cup of grapes, or any fruit of your choice, and then they need to be sliced and washed. And so then you take your fruit, which has already been cut, and you arrange it artistically on the top of the tart. And your ending result should look something like this.
Wow.
Or however your design turns out to be. So, once that's done, then you can enjoy it. But as you can see, the art of tart making can be done by anybody. By following these 3 steps, making the crust, the custard, and then decorating it, anyone can master this craft.